Rashad Beard, what's up, fella?
What's going on, guys?
How we doing, man?
All is well, man. No, can't complain at all. Can't complain.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it.
We're just fighting today, and I don't know why. So I'm glad you're here to bring peace.
Peace is good.
Yeah. Notice he didn't participate, so there's no peace from him. He just wants to fight.
I know, man.
I'm a lover, not
Rob,
a fighter.
do better.
Man.
Do better, Rob.
He's got flamingos on his shirt, and he's still wanting to fight. I mean, you know.
Oh, I'm going to get a couple of day beers after the show today.
Obviously, I need help. It says so right here on my shirt over here to help. Let's see. So you brought Rashad in, you're just not going to talk to him? I mean,
no,
that's just rude. Again, I'm not the one wanting to fight. It's him. It's not me.
Somebody texted me something about Mike Shula, and it made me madder. At 8:40 on Fridays, we take a little road trip right up to Charlotte, North Carolina, the home of the Carolina Panthers, and that is where we find a young man who hosts the Panther Nation podcast. You can find it on X at Panther Nation PC. You can find the actual podcast on YouTube at Panther Nation Podcast. Make sure you get subscribed. Click the little bell notification so you never miss a single word out of the mouth of the icon, Rashad Beard, joining us here on the Rob Brown Show. What up, fella?
What's going on, man? The intro was pretty good, man. It gets better and better every week.
Thanks. I've been doing this 17 years. I'll figure it out at some point, man. Like at some point, I'll get good at this. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, real quick, I want to ask you a quick, one single crossover question that kind of deals with the Gamecocks and the Panthers because there is a connection here.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get their asses handed to them by Alabama this weekend. It's like not even worth watching to me. It's going to be that bad. Mike Shula is the offensive coordinator there. And I believe that the waste of Lenora Sellers is going to go down as one of the most tragic stories in the history of college football. Mike Shula was also the offensive coordinator when Cam Newton, was with the Carolina Panthers a few years ago. Rashad, I don't know how plugged in, how tuned in you were at the time. What was the opinion of the Cats about Mike Shula as OC when Cam Newton was QB1?
Yeah, differing opinions on Shula, man. I don't know that he was obviously wasn't the guy. I ended up getting up out of here eventually, but yeah, I do believe, and I agree with you. What's going on with Sellers, man? I think Sellers is an exceptional talent, and I'm not sure he's getting the most out of him. So I can see the correlation. I see what you're doing, and I think it makes a little sense there. I think there's a line where Shula is a little questionable. So listen, it applied in the NFL, and it looks like it's applying in the college game too.
Yeah, no, like I said, we've seen this tape before. That's why I asked. All right, let's get to it. Let's circle back around to last week.
I want to ask the first question. Can I ask the first question?
Sure, of course.
Let me ask the first question. I mean, you're already mad at me. I might as well do this. Can you, since you're in Charlotte, Rashad, can you like stroll over to the stadium and tell them to play Rico and not Chuba? I understand you got loyalty to Chuba. Chuba should be relegated to third down now. I mean, the energy, the difference in yards, everything when Rico's in the game compared to Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, it's a tough thing, right? Because the whole Panther Nation agrees. I would say a good majority of Panther Nation agrees with you. You got to go with the hot hand. Rico, I think they had a close to the same amount of carries. Rico had 17, Chuba had 14. And they're trying to go this 50-50 thing. I think I like the concept of what they're doing. We used to have double trouble in the past with D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. We've had Deshaun Foster and Stephen Davis. So this isn't anything new to the Carolina Panthers. I think Chuba Hubbard deserves a little bit of grace because he's coming off an injury. And so I think he needed that game to kind of get his wheels back going. I expect a better performance from Chuba this go round, but I do agree with you. I agree with you, Zoe. I agree with you. Rico is the hot hand. The aggressive run style. As soon as he sees the lane, he is gone. He's averaging what? He averaged about just under 5 yards a carry in that against the Jets. And prior to that, he's putting up really, really good numbers. And I think, and if you look at the numbers going into the Bills, I know we're going to talk about the Bills game later, but if you look at the matchup going into that game, there's a huge opportunity for potentially another 200-yard gainer by Rico and company. So I get what you're saying, but I also would like to have two fresh running backs. I think you have to split it up some way. I'm keeping the same energy because anybody that watches my pod knows I was against playing CMC a million times per game, right? You have to switch it up. You have to have a split backfield so the guys are fresh. So I got to keep the same energies though.
See, you're talking about energy. It seems to me that the team has a completely different energy when Rico Dowdle is in there. It seems like they play harder, they move faster, everything. And again, it could just be a perception thing, but I think as a coach, as a team, you look and go, okay, we got a better shot to win if he becomes our primary back. I do agree that you don't run him every single time, but I think he should be the starter and should get the majority of the carries.
Well, he's getting the majority of carries. I think, starting – I think the starting thing is a little bit overplayed. Like, I don't care who gets the first carry. Like, I care about who's – I'd rather have a fresh Rico at the end of the game, right, when the defenses are worn down. You can really hand it to him, and he, with his run style, he's going to punish the defensive line. So I'd rather have him fresh at the end than have him start to get the first carry for, quote-unquote, being a starter. That's my opinion.
Rashad Beard, Panther Nation podcast here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. So wanted to ask about the Jets game and how it relates to Buffalo. Felt like a game that maybe the first one this year you went, all right, you got to feel good going into this game. It's a better football team. Justin Fields is struggling. The Jets are beating themselves up from the inside out. It never really felt like Carolina was going to run away. It never felt like the game was in trouble, but it never felt like you were ready to break one open and run away. What was your takeaway on a much closer and lower scoring game than I thought that was going to turn into, especially putting it into contrast to a Buffalo team that is 8-0 coming off the last 8 byes and is scoring more points off the bye than any other team in the NFL in that span?
Yeah, I think with the Jets game, I kind of saw what I wanted to see a little bit. I knew the Jets defense is good. I think we got to give them a little bit more credit. I know they're 0-7 now, but their defense is good. Their offense is awful. So their offense puts their defense in terrible positions. And so I wanted to see what we were going to do when we couldn't run the ball for 200 yards per game. And so you put the football in Bryce's hands a little bit more. And I think he did what he had to do. I think the Bills are going to provide a little bit different challenge. Number one, I know you just said the Bills are 8-0 coming off a bye, but guess who's protecting this? This is not the Louvre here. We're protecting the bank, right? We're 3-0. Like, let's not get it twisted, Rob. Like, we are 3-0 at home. So I think there's a little bit, something's got to give here. You know what I mean? So I think that the Panthers are playing different at home. I don't know who the quarterback is going to be just yet. I think we're going to find out today. But I think we have an opportunity here. The Bills defense this isn't the Bills of past, right? This isn't the Bills of the years prior where Josh Allen has all these weapons and their defense is really, 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 really good. That's not the case. This is a beatable team. They're coming off of 2 L's. So this is a winnable game for sure.
So they're coming off 2 L's, but again, 2 L's going into the bye week. They've been getting off the bye. You're right. Something has to break here. What does it take for this to happen? I was on a station yesterday in Rochester, New York, who asked me to come on and talk a little ball with them. And my takeaway was this is a defensive line who last week, Derek Brown got a couple of sacks, Princely, Scouart, everybody got on the sack list last week. If that continues and if this team develops, it's a good offensive line for Buffalo, but it is a beatable one. For Carolina to win this game against Buffalo at home, it is going to be those front 4 guys getting to Allen and not disrupting so much as containing him. Keep him in the pocket. Don't let him get outside and be Josh Allen. I do think there's a chance to win, but it is going to start at that spot to me.
Absolutely. This game is going to be, and you can say it for every game, but this game is going to be won and lost in the trenches. I think you have to contain Josh Allen. The thing that scares me about Josh is him breaking contain and getting loose and running the football, right? I know Justin Fields has that capability. We didn't see that. And Josh Allen provides a whole different set of challenges. And so I think offensively, there's no weapons on that field that scares me. Keon Coleman doesn't scare me like that. The only thing that scares me is the tight ends, right? We have some trouble with the tight ends. They got a couple of good ones. So that scares me a little bit. Their run game is very solid. They are the number 1 rushing team in the league. But we've been solid against the run. We're top 10 in defensively against the run. So I think the game is really going to boil down to the trenches. And I think the Panthers are going to have to win the way they won against the Miami Dolphins, the way they won against the Jets, the way they've been winning these past 3 games. They have to run the football. If we run the football, which this Buffalo Bills team is 31st against the run, they are awful, bad. And so we're a really, really good rushing team, and I think we can take advantage of that. This game is going to really boil down to time of possession. Both of us want to hold the football, win on the ground. It's going to be a tough battle. It's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a really, really good game. And I think it's going to be a very good measuring stick for the Panthers, because I think everybody thinks that we're not capable. We're not going to beat the Bills. I saw all the predictions. It was all red, white, and blue, right? Everybody's picking the Bills. But this is a game that I think is winnable for the Carolina Panthers because, again, this isn't the Louvre. This is the Bank. This is Bank of America Stadium. I think we can win this game.
I would like to, before I get to my next question, point out that Rashad from weeks 1 through 5 of, we'll see how it goes. I'm not getting gassed. I'm going to let it play out. Now, all of a sudden, my man's like, it's the damn Bank. I'm not I like it. I like it. Where's that energy coming from, bro?
Yeah, I think you got to show me. I'm a show me guy, and they're showing me week to week. And I'm not saying we're going to go out there and definitively beat the Bills, but I think it's going to be a better matchup than people are giving it credit for. Like, you're not just going to come in the Bank, and I think that's what's giving me the confidence. Is now they're starting to talk it, and they're starting to believe it. And when they start to talking and believe it, then I can start to talking and believe it. You know what I mean? So they're starting to show me, and they're starting to prove. I think this defense is much better. They're going to be the ones keeping us in the game. I think, J.C. Horn, elite cornerback, people are starting to see it. We've known that for years now. But the two interceptions he had against the Jets were amazing. Derrick Brown's a monster. Then you got Scourton, who had 6 pressures alone by himself. 6 pressures, 1.5 sacks. I mean, these guys are starting to come around, and it's really good. This draft class, Rob, we can have a whole different show about this draft class because it's really good, and it's starting to show improve. So I like it. This is giving me a lot of confidence.
All right. Obviously, it doesn't matter how many times it's been talked about. We can't not talk about Andy Dalton getting the start here, because I think there's a good chunk of people that say, hey, wait a minute. We bench BY. Andy Dalton came in last year and he was fine. He's not going to blow you away. He's not going to be Tom Brady. He's not going to be Josh Allen. He's just going to be smart with the football, efficient, not make mistakes. And as you pointed out, I think the game plan needs to be lean on the run to open up the field for Andy Dalton to see it. On the flip side, it has also been a year since we've seen Andy Dalton. It has been a hot minute since he got his time. He played a few weeks. He gets benched because of the car accident, whatever. And he's not thrown passes in a real-time game so far with this group of wide receivers, which is brand new to him by and large, Rashad Beard. So what is realistic for Andy Dalton to do in order to pull? Yes, I know you're comfortable and fine. It will still be considered by the NFL landscape to be an upset.
For sure. I think it will be considered an upset if we beat the Bills. But again, like you said, I think we have to lean on that run game. I think you cannot get out of character just because you have a different quarterback. And that's what makes me a little bit nervous about this game. I think Canales might get a little excited because he has a quarterback maybe that's a little bit more capable from an arm strength standpoint and can push the football. And because last time, Andy Dalton came in, I think he threw the ball like 60 times. Like, we don't need that. This Bills defense is awful against the run. Turn around, hand the football off to Rico. You're getting Damian Lewis back. Your offensive line is going to be healthier than it's been on the past week. So run the football, and I think that as long as we stay in character and run the ball, I think Dalton can do enough to win this game. Now, I think another thing that concerns me a little bit is the lack of mobility from Dalton, because I think Bryce Young, that's where he excels, right? He's able to move out the pocket, run, extend plays. That's not going to happen with Andy Dalton. And so I think that's going to expose our offensive line just a tad. I think our offensive line is good at pass protection, but I think it's going to expose us just a little bit because Bryce Young is able to evade those pressures. And I don't think Andy Dalton will be able to do that in certain instances. But as long as we're able to run the football, if we run it 175, 200, I think this game is certainly winnable.
All right, so last one as we look around the rest of the NFC South, a NFC South that suddenly sees the Carolina Panthers a game off. You've got Tampa Bay.
What'd you say? Can you repeat that one more time?
Pal, I picked you to win the division this year, all right? I'm the only one who picked you to win the division this year. So maybe let's pull that throttle back just a little bit, big fella. Now, as I sat here, stop it. Stop. Now we are fighting today. All right. So as the only guy in this building that did pick your team to win the NFC South. You're a game off. Atlanta stinks. New Orleans stinks. Tampa Bay's 5-2, but they are now down their top 2 wide receivers. And Emeka Egbuka is good. We'll find out if he's a number 1. Even if he is, I don't know who's 2 and 3. How the door feels open for the Panthers right now, but I think you have to walk through it against Buffalo for me to believe that there's a path to a divisional crown at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's open for sure, but I think we're starting to enter a tough part of our schedule. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself here and start to crown us NFC South champions. I think we got a long way to go. Obviously, we still have to play the Bucks twice. We still got to play the Saints twice. We got to play the Falcons again. So we got a long way to go, and we're entering a really tough part of our schedule. So you got the Bills this week, the Packers, and then after that, it still gets a little tough. So listen, we do have to beat the Bills. I think one game at a time. I'm not expecting us to go out there and win a division just yet, but it is right in front of us. I think that's key. This team hasn't been above 500 since 2019, 2021. So it's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling. I think they're starting to show improve. So I like it. We're right there. We're right there, Rob.
I like it. Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast. Find them on X at Panther Nation PC. More importantly, get to the YouTube channel, get subscribed, turn the bell on. The boys are live all the time. And Rashad, kind enough to join us every Thursday at 8:40. My dude, enjoy the game. This one is, I think, going to be interesting, man.
It is going to be interesting. Tough battle, tough defensive battle, ground game. So if you don't like the running of the football, turn this one off. I think it's going to be a lot of run game.
I think you're exactly right. Rashad, talk to you next week, guy.
All right, guys. See you guys. Thanks.
You got it. Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast. Appreciate his time. As always, we've got to run to a break. When we come back here in mere moments from now, the fellas from the Moving the Chains pod will step up. They'll get you set up for the high school football weekend. Then Denton Day of SiriusXM's college football overtime. He'll talk college football with us. And then we wrap the show with our weekend predictions, projections, and prognostications on the hashtag Football Friday. Now let's do a sports flash. I'm still mad about the Who Dat.
Yeah,
It's not funny. It's not funny.
You were overly aggressive there. Former player and coach Damon Jones, who was arrested yesterday, allegedly provided injury information about LeBron James when he was part of the Lakers coaching staff. The federal indictment against Jones contains text